Welcome to the deep dive. We are thrilled to have you with us today, our resident learner.
Absolutely. It's great to be here.
Whether you're commuting, prepping for a meeting, or, you just have this insatiable curiosity about how the world works, our mission is to take a stack of information and distill it down to exactly what you need to know.
Exactly.
And today we are working from a single incredibly comprehensive source. It's an in-depth piece by Nikki Chase from Era Organics titled Mosaic Warts, Treatment, Causes, and Prevention.
And I have to say, it is a phenomenal foundation for what we were talking about today.
Oh, totally.
Because we are really getting into the biology, the architecture, and the management of something that is far more complex and honestly devious than most people realize.
Yeah, devious is a good word for it. So I want to set the stage for you. Have you ever stepped out of a gym shower or maybe walked barefoot across a communal yoga mat and suddenly wondered what invisible things might be hitching a ride on your feet?
It's a terrifying thought when you really dwell on it.
Right. Today's mission is to unpack everything about a very stubborn, highly structured little skin invader, which is the mosaic wart. Okay, let's unpack this.
Let's do it.
Because while it might just sound like a simple, annoying bump on your foot, there is actually a fascinating biological hijacking taking place right on the surface of your skin.
Hijacking is really the perfect word to describe it. When we talk about mosaic warts, we aren't just talking about a standard everyday blemish.
Right.
In the medical community, this specific type of wart is classified as recalcitrant.
Recalcitrant, that sounds serious.
It is a very polite, very clinical way of saying it, is intensely stubborn, highly defensive, and just incredibly resistant to treatment. A mosaic wart is essentially a complex, spread-out cluster of plantar warts.
Right, so instead of just one single isolated bump,
Which is what a standard plantar wart usually is.
yeah, instead of that, these things grow so close together that they physically merge.
They do.
They form this large, rough patch that almost looks like a miniature tile floor on your skin, hence the name mosaic.
Exactly. And the visual characteristics are unmistakable once you know what you're looking for. They appear as this flat, yellowish or grayish plaque, and it's completely covered in a massively thickened layer of keratin.
And keratin is that tough protective protein that makes up our outer skin layer.
Right, exactly. But the crucial detail to understand here is why they are flat. Unlike a common wart on your finger that grows outward into a raised bump.
Like a typical witch's wart type thing.
Right, exactly. But mosaic warts generally form on the bottom of the foot. So they are subjected to the constant heavy pressure of your body's weight every single time you stand or walk.
Wait, if my body's weight is pushing this thick, hard cluster inward every time I take a step, shouldn't my immune system immediately recognize that something foreign is, burrowing into my foot?
You would think so.
Right.
But that is actually part of the genius of this particular condition, which we'll get into shortly. What that mechanical pressure does in the meantime is force that tough, thickened skin directly inward, pressing it against the sensitive nerves in the dermis below. Walking literally pushes this hard, pebble-like growth against your nerve endings.
So that is why people feel sharp or dull pain, especially if they're wearing thin-soled shoes or walking barefoot on hard floors.
Yes.
It sounds like walking with a permanent rock in your shoe that you just can't take out.
That is a very accurate comparison.
And another key visual feature is that these clusters completely disrupt your normal skin lines. The regular, unique ridges and architecture of your skin, basically your footprint, are just totally erased and overwritten in that patch.
Overwritten is a great way to phrase it. And then there is the diagnostic feature that surprises almost everyone.
The black dots.
The black dots. If you look closely at a mosaic wart, the surface is often speckled with these tiny black dots.
Yes, this completely blew my mind. People commonly call them wart seeds.
Which sounds incredibly creepy.
Right. It sounds like something from a sci-fi movie, like the wart is actively planting tiny seeds to grow a little wart forest on your foot. But they aren't seeds at all.
Not even close. What you're actually looking at are tiny, localized hemorrhages.
Hemorrhages?
Yes. Those dots are clotted capillaries. The wart has effectively tricked your body into building a custom blood supply pipeline right up into the infected tissue to feed it.
That is wild.
Warts need nutrients to survive and multiply, just like any other living tissue. Those clotted blood vessels are a key feature that really helps distinguish a mosaic wart from just a regular friction-based corn or a callus.
It grows its own plumbing. I just can't get over that. And this isn't some rare 1 in a million medical anomaly either. We are talking about 10% of the general population being affected by these foot warts at some point.
The numbers get even more dramatic when you look at children.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, a full 50% of school-age kids will encounter at least one foot wart.
50%.
Half of all kids. And this happens because their immune systems are still in the training phase, actively learning how to recognize and fight off these everyday pathogens.
Plus, 30% of regular single plantar warts will actually evolve into this complex, stubborn mosaic pattern if they are ignored.
Which happens a lot. People just ignore them.
It really emphasizes why you can't just cross your fingers and hope a foot wart magically disappears. Which brings us to the actual architect of this little tile city. The root culprit behind these skin anomalies is the human papillomavirus, or HPV.
Now, HPV is a massive family of viruses with over 100 different strains.
Right.
But strains 1, 2, 4, 60, and 63 are the specific targeted architects responsible for these plantar developments.
And how do they actually get in? Because human skin is a pretty incredible fortress.
What's fascinating here is the sheer stealth of the biological mechanism. The virus is a total opportunist. It sneaks in through microscopic cuts, tiny abrasions, or even just macerated skin.
Macerated skin, meaning when you stay in the bath too long or your feet get super sweaty in your shoes and the skin gets all waterlogged and pruny.
Exactly. When your skin gets waterlogged like that, the structural integrity of the outer barrier softens and breaks down.
It's like leaving the gates of the fortress wide open.
It is. The virus uses that compromised barrier as the perfect entry point. Once it slips through, the hijacking begins. It invades the basal layer of the epidermis.
Which is the very bottom of the outermost layer of your skin.
Correct.
So think of the basal layer like the factory floor of your skin. The virus sneaks in, fires the manager, and turns all your skin cells, specifically the keratinocytes, into a rogue 3D printer.
That is a brilliant analogy.
It forces your cellular machinery to replicate viral DNA, rapidly and abnormally pumping out excess hardened skin cells. That rapid accumulation is what forms the thick lesion.
But the truly devious part is the immune evasion. We go back to your earlier question.
Right. Why doesn't the body fight back?
Exactly. The virus strategically stays concentrated strictly in the upper layers of the epidermis. It never crosses the border into the deeper dermal tissues or the bloodstream.
Because the bloodstream is where your white blood cells, your body's security guards are actively patrolling.
Precisely. By staying in the shallow end, the virus completely evades detection.
It's hiding in the rafters while the security guards patrol the ground floor. And because of that stealth, it can incubate silently for 2 to 6 months.
2 to 6 months of just waiting.
You could walk barefoot across a gym floor in January, pick up the virus, and not see a single bump or experience any pain until June. It just sits there, quietly hijacking your cells and building its fortress.
And while it's doing that, it triggers the formation of additional satellite warts nearby. These separate points of infection slowly grow outward until they merge into that large mosaic pattern we talked about.
Wow.
Furthermore, because the viral particles remain highly concentrated in those upper shedding layers of skin, the area is extremely contagious.
Which means if this virus can incubate silently for 6 months, you have to wonder where people are picking it up in the first place. That brings us to the environmental side of the danger zones.
The danger zones.
So for you listening, if you're the type to walk barefoot from the gym shower to your locker because you forgot your flip-flops, you really need to hear this.
You are essentially playing a game of biological roulette.
Roulette.
This virus absolutely thrives in warm, dark, moist environments. When we talk about prime real estate for HPV transmission, we're looking directly at locker rooms, public shower floors, indoor swimming pool decks, and communal mats used for yoga, gymnastics, or martial arts.
Let's break down the actual mechanics of how it spreads in those spaces. It's a bit unsettling, but it paints a clear picture. As an infected person walks barefoot across a damp pool deck, they are literally shedding microscopic virus-laden skin flakes from the surface of their wart onto the ground.
Right. And those viral particles can survive on that damp surface for quite a while.
Ugh.
Then you walk over that exact same spot barefoot. The friction of your foot sliding against the floor physically pushes those waiting viral particles up into the invisible microcuts on the sole of your foot.
It's a highly efficient transfer mechanism, perfectly facilitated by our shared modern spaces.
It definitely makes you rethink your gym bag essentials.
No kidding. And while they love weight-bearing areas like the heels, the balls of the feet, and the underside of the toes, they don't exclusively stay on the feet. They can easily set up shop on the hands, too.
Yes, the palms and the backs of the hands are very susceptible, especially if you are directly touching an infected foot.
Oh.
They also frequently appear as small, tightly grouped bumps around the fingernails.
Oh, that sounds awful.
It's a massive issue for nail biters.
Oh, right.
Biting your nails constantly introduces saliva and moisture while simultaneously causing tiny microtraumas to the skin around the nail bed. It creates the ultimate welcoming environment for the virus.
Which leads perfectly to a massive non-negotiable rule when dealing with this, the sharing ban.
Yes, the sharing ban.
If someone in your house has a mosaic wart, there is absolutely zero sharing of personal items allowed. None.
The virus remains viable on porous materials for a staggering amount of time. It loves the dark, warm, damp fibers of bath towels and sweaty socks. Shoes, particularly athletic shoes that don't breathe well, act as perfect incubation chambers.
But it's also the grooming tools you might not even think twice about. Pumice stones, emery boards, and nail clippers.
Oh, pumice stones are the worst offenders.
Right. If you use a pumice stone to scrub a foot wart, and then someone else in your family uses it, or even if you just use it on your own healthy foot the next day, you are acting as a literal Trojan horse for the virus. You're just handing it a free ride to a brand new piece of skin.
We call that process autoinoculation. Accidentally spreading the virus from one part of your own body to another, it is remarkably easy to do.
So how do we stop that?
Covering an active wart with a clean bandage or waterproof medical tape is absolutely critical. It creates a physical, impermeable barrier that prevents those infected skin flakes from falling onto your floors or spreading to your hands when you inevitably touch or scratch your foot.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting. What do you actually do when you realize you have one of these tile cities on your foot? The at-home remedies are fascinating because they sound like old wives' tales, but they are grounded in real biology. Let's talk about the duct tape therapy.
Duct tape therapy is a classic dermatological hack, and it's surprisingly effective for a lot of people.
It sounds crazy.
It does. The method involves cutting a piece of silver duct tape, specifically the heavy-duty silver kind, to the exact size of the wart, placing it over the lesion and leaving it securely in place for 6 full days.
But why does putting hardware store tape on your foot actually do anything?
It all comes back to that immune evasion we dissected earlier. The virus is hiding in the upper layers, completely ignored by your white blood cells. The adhesive in the silver duct tape, combined with the occlusion, meaning it seals the area off from the air, creates continuous localized irritation over those 6 days.
You are literally just annoying your immune system into action.
Exactly. That sustained irritation finally sounds the alarm. It causes a localized inflammatory response that draws the body's immune system up to the surface layer.
Oh, wow.
The white blood cells finally arrive at the site, recognize the viral invader, and begin attacking the infected tissue. After 6 days, you remove the tape, soak the foot in warm water, gently file away the dead top layer of skin, and then reapply a new piece of tape.
It is brilliant. Another common at-home tactic involves apple cider vinegar. You soak a small cotton ball in the vinegar, place it directly on the wart, and tape it down overnight.
Yes, the ACV method.
Apple cider vinegar contains acetic acid. Over a period of 4 to 8 weeks, that consistent, highly acidic environment slowly breaks down and dissolves the thickened, tough keratin of the lesion.
And as you mentioned with the duct tape, part of this at-home process often involves a pumice stone or an emery board.
Yeah.
After soaking the foot in warm water to soften the keratin, you gently file the surface of the wart.
Get the dead stuff off.
Right. This removes the dead outer layers of skin, which is crucial because it allows whatever topical acid or treatment you're using to penetrate deeper into the active viral site.
But we have to repeat the crucial warning here. If you use a pumice stone on a wart, you must throw it away or meticulously disinfect it. Otherwise, you are just aggressively rubbing the live virus back into your skin tomorrow.
Precisely. But while we are discussing at-home tactics, we absolutely have to talk about the massive do not when it comes to wart management. Under no circumstances should anyone attempt DIY bathroom surgery.
Yes. Please do not go at your foot with a pocket knife or a pair of bathroom scissors trying to dig a mosaic wart out.
It is exceptionally dangerous because these mosaic clusters are densely packed with their own hijacked blood supply. Those clotted capillaries we talked about trying to cut or scrape them away at home with non-sterile tools will lead to severe, difficult-to-stop bleeding.
Not to mention, you are carving an open wound into the bottom of your foot. You walk on that foot. It is a massive invitation for severe secondary bacterial infections.
A terrible idea all around.
Plus, you won't even successfully eradicate the virus. You'll likely just push it deeper into the dermis or spread it directly to your fingers. Leave the cutting to the professionals.
Which naturally brings us to the clinical interventions. When duct tape, vinegar, and over-the-counter acids fail, which they very often do when dealing with recalcitrant clusters, what do the medical professionals bring to the table?
This might be one of my favorite medical facts ever. The doctors have a treatment called cantharidin. This is a highly potent substance derived naturally from actual blister beetles.
Blister beetles.
So you go to the clinic, and the doctor literally paints this Betelgeuse directly onto the surface of the wart.
It sounds medieval, but the mechanism is incredible. Within 24 to 48 hours, the cantharidin creates a targeted chemical reaction that forms a blister directly underneath the wart.
So you're telling me the ultimate high-tech medical solution to this resilient viral fortress is Beetlejuice. We're painting blister beetles on people's feet. Nature is absolutely wild.
It really is. By forcing a blister to form beneath the cluster, it biologically lifts and separates the entire viral colony away from the healthy dermal tissue below.
Oh, so it pushes it up from the inside.
Exactly. It cleanly detaches the fortress from its foundation, making it vastly easier for the doctor to peel away the infected tissue entirely.
Aside from the Beetlejuice, the pros have a whole arsenal of aggressive clinical methods.
They do. Cryotherapy is a standard approach. That involves applying liquid nitrogen to deep freeze the wart tissue. Just like cantharidin, the extreme cold causes a blister to form that lifts the wart away.
But mosaic warts are tough, right?
Very. Because mosaic clusters are so large and deeply entrenched, cryotherapy usually requires multiple, sometimes painful sessions. Then you have electrosurgery, where a physician uses a high-frequency electric current to quite literally burn away the infected tissue under local anesthesia.
There is also curettage, where a medical professional uses a specialized, spoon-shaped surgical tool to physically scrape and scoop the wart out of the foot.
That one is not for the faint of heart.
No kidding. And then there's laser treatment using pulse dye lasers. This one is fascinating because the laser specifically targets the blood vessels feeding the wart. It cauterizes the plumbing, completely cutting off the food supply, and basically starves the wart tissue until it dies and falls off.
But here is the hard truth. Regardless of whether you opt for clinical treatment or manage it at home, the daily skincare routine required to beat a mosaic wart is exhausting.
It really is a marathon.
You have to be incredibly meticulous and consistent. The daily regimen involves washing the area with mild soap to remove loose viral particles, followed by a 15-minute warm water soak every single day to soften the keratin shield.
Then you take your disposable emery board to file the top layer of dead tissue. And I love the emphasis on disposable. Use it, trash it, don't spread the virus.
Exactly. Trash it immediately.
After filing, you apply your topical treatments. You might use a salicylic acid gel applied once or twice daily to chemically peel away the microscopic layers over weeks, or a much stronger doctor-provided chemical called trichloroacetic acid for the truly stubborn clusters.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, constantly attacking the surface of the skin often isn't enough for these complex clusters. The virus is too entrenched. That's why dermatologists sometimes prescribe a treatment like imiquimod cream.
Imiquimod.
You apply this cream 3 times a week for up to 16 weeks. What makes it revolutionary is that it doesn't just burn off the outer skin. It acts as an immunomodulator.
Meaning it changes how the immune system behaves.
Yes. It actually stimulates your local immune system. It trains your body's defenses to recognize the HPV virus and fight the infection from the inside out. It addresses the fundamental viral cause rather than just burning away the symptom.
That is incredible. It's like calling in a SWAT team instead of just repairing the broken window. And throughout all this harsh chemical peeling, freezing, and scraping, you have to fiercely protect the healthy skin surrounding the wart.
Protection is key.
Applying a high-quality healing ointment, like the Era Organics healing ointment mentioned in our research on the healthy skin, helps soothe the immense irritation and prevents the skin from cracking. Cracked skin is just a brand new doorway for the virus to expand its territory.
Right, you don't want to give it new entry points.
So keeping the surrounding perimeter hydrated, wearing moisture-wicking socks to deny the virus its favorite damp environment, and always covering the wart with a clean bandage is vital.
The level of consistency required is immense. You have to maintain this rigorous daily routine until the skin completely returns to its normal texture, and all of your normal, unique skin lines are fully restored across the area.
So what does this all mean? Ultimately, a deep dive into mosaic warts is a masterclass in biological opportunism. It shows us exactly how a tiny, invisible virus can exploit our modern environments, thrive in our shared communal spaces, and perfectly utilize our skin's microscopic vulnerabilities to build a highly structured, stubbornly defended colony right under our noses.
It is a perfect, everyday illustration of the constant, invisible battle happening between pathogens and our immune systems. The virus uses our own bodily pressure to protect itself, hiding in the shallow end of our biology, just out of reach of our internal security forces.
So, for you listening, take this as your official, highly practical reminder. Pack your flip flops or water shoes for the gym, the hotel shower, or the pool deck. Stop sharing your towels or your nail clippers, even with people you love. Keep your feet dry. And if you do spot a rough patch of skin with little black dots, respect its biological complexity and go see a professional before you try to just hack away at it.
As we wrap up today's exploration, I want to leave you with something to ponder. We learned today that the HPV virus creates these complex mosaic warts by perfectly hiding in the outermost layers of the skin, successfully evading our internal immune system for months on end. It forces us to use bizarre external tricks like silver duct tape or special immune-stimulating creams just to manually sound our own body's alarm bells. It makes you wonder, if a virus can hide in plain sight on the absolute surface of our skin, building little tile cities and hijacking our blood supply without our immune system even noticing, what other microscopic invaders might our body's defense system be completely ignoring right now, simply because they haven't crossed the right biological borders yet?
That is a fascinating and mildly terrifying thought to chew on next time you're looking at your own skin. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep questioning the things you think are simple, keep learning about the invisible world around you, and please take good care of your feet. We'll catch you next time.